Neymar now for everybody is, how can we concoct a story when maybe there isn't one there, right? The guy needs to... Jules just mentioned he's been out for weeks, right? Let me put it one way, right? As problematic as this guy has been, PSG are not going to come close to winning the Champions League unless Thomas Tuchel can get him fit, playing well, and fit the chess pieces around him, which is part of the problem in tonight's game. It's getting the pieces of the puzzle in the right place to get the right shape for the team. But on top of that, unless, and we know he wants to leave the club, I understand that, but unless he finds a way between now and the end of the season in making this work, they won't win the Champions League. If they can make it work with the players that they've got, particularly in the attacking third, they've got a chance. And that's the big difference here. So I think it's man management from Tuchel. Neymar might not like it, but it has to be man management.
As poor as PSG was in the first half, then I was all for Neymar coming off the bench at halftime and give this team something different. And I know, by the way, this guy's supposed to be the difference maker. What I didn't quite understand from Thomas Tuchel is actually putting Neymar in a situation in which he has to drop deeper to get the ball and be a playmaker out of the midfield. Because we know he was never going to defend out of that position. And so what he created is a natural 3v2 in the midfield for Real Madrid. Hence, Real Madrid was controlling the game. It wasn't until Julian Draxler comes on the field and kind of talks inside a little bit where Neymar now gets the freedom to push further up the field. And now he can impact the game in the way that we know he can. So, for me, it's about the decision of Thomas Tuchel and, as you just mentioned, fitting those pieces together. But Neymar has to be on the field. If PSG wants to achieve anything important, he has to be on the field, and he has to be the best version of Neymar.
So how does that work out? When it comes to next year, when it comes to knockout stages of the Champions League, Jules, can you have that Icardi, Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar all playing at the same time?
You can if you want to, but you would have to play in a 4-2-3-1 formation with Neymar playing centrally behind Icardi, with Mbappe wide on the left, on the right, and Di Maria on the other side. But like Ali has just said, then you weaken your midfield, because if you play against Liverpool, let's say, and there are three midfielders, you're going to be outnumbered in that area, which is the key area now if you want to win a game like that. So, you know, Tuchel will have to find, like the boys have been saying, the puzzle and the pieces in the jigsaw and etc. I think it would be very hard for PSG to win the Champions League playing 4-2-3-1 with the four fantastics up front. As great as you look on paper and as much as I would love them to do it, I think it would be harder. They need more balance in midfield. They need to be stronger in midfield. And Marquinhos, Gay and Verratti probably provide that more than just Marquinhos and Verratti, or Gay and Marquinhos, or, you know, Gay and Verratti, for example. So the option might be to play Neymar, Mbappe and Icardi and then having Di Maria in midfield, maybe, or you have to drop one of the four and then play with the 4-3-3 formation.
You play 4-3, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to adapt. And that's coaches get paid the big money, I think, to not pick the team before the game, but to adapt the team during the game. That's ultimately when the most important decisions are made, when you're in game. If you want to squeeze all of them in, for all the things Jules said, you play the 4-2-3-1. If it's not working, and it's clear if it's not working, then you're going to have to ask Angel Di Maria to drop back into a left-hand side of midfield and say, listen, you're going to have to do a job for us. Right. He's got the engine to get around. He maybe hasn't got the physicality of other players or the defensive nous of other players, but he's got the legs to get back into midfield. And it might take something like that for PSG to be successful in this tournament.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.